Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
What a pleasure to see and hear from Dr. Leslie Parrott. She's a New York Times best-selling author, therapist as well. Doc, how are you?
Hey, all things considered, I'm doing well.
Thanks for getting up early. You are on the would you call it the best coast or just or the west?
Oh, you are such a wise man. You are so welcome. It's fun to start the day together.
Yeah, Seattle, beautiful city. And I know you and your husband have been doing what you do for so long. I'm trying to remember the title of the book that I had from both of you. It was about relationships, marriage specifically. Gosh, it must have been 25 years. Have you guys been doing that for 25? Surely not.
Well, let me tell you, we have, and thank you for underscoring my age as I start this day.
Wow, this interview really started off well, didn't it, Dan?
Well, they wrote that book when they were 5 years old. So,
You must be talking about saving your marriage before it starts. Did you do that as a couple before you married?
Yeah, well, actually, we've been married longer than that. I don't know. Maybe that's when we were counseling and we used that book. We went through it. Yeah. So anyway, but all your stuff is amazing. And we wanted to talk to you about relationships. Now, you guys in Seattle are really locked down still. In Atlanta here, it's been freed up a tad, although Dan and I and the rest of the crew for Salem are socially isolated in our homes. But we wanted to pick your brain about relationships while this is all going on, like mental health and growing in your faith. And even, I love this, talking to our children. Now, I have teens, but younger children maybe about crisis. I don't think anybody was prepared for this. You?
I don't think anyone. This is a global event. Most of us could never have foreseen unless we were Bill Gates or somebody tuned in at that big scale level. But you're right, it is. And I think one of the things that is shocking to people is that more contagious actually even than the virus is our emotional well-being. And I think that shocks people. We don't realize how communal our emotions are. And I mean, we know this from research in my field as a marriage and family therapist. Emotions like fear, or on the good side, hope, are completely transmittable. So when you ask that question, how can we be present to our kids? Making a place for their fear, but also creating that viral sense of hope that holds our children is huge.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because obviously, since we're socially isolated, we're spending a lot more time as a family at home together. And my wife, in general, is more of a worrier than I am. And when she starts to get in that cycle of worrying and thinking, oh, my gosh, well, I'm not getting the hours that I normally get, what's going to happen? I see it affecting me as well, and vice versa. If I can go, all right, honey, who's in control? Not us, thankfully. Then we can start to build back up. So how important is that you talk through that with your mate when you see one of them starting to go kind of off the deep end?
I love that, because let's be honest, we all do go off the deep end, and that's the gift of marriage. We can reel each other off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
It's vital. Actually, sometimes we feel helpless when we see a spouse or a child we love spinning into that anxious place. But amazingly, it's pretty simple to meet someone there and create safety. We don't have to solve everything they're anxious about. We simply need to become a container to hold that feeling with and for them, and it begins to dissolve. It's powerful. So if you feel terrified that if I listen to this anxiety, I will increase it, just know it doesn't do that. It does the opposite. It contains it and it soothes it. So the act of listening deeply is huge. It's really huge. And we are created, our brains are, with something called mirror neurons. Maybe you men have heard about this, but it's, I think, a thing God did that amazes me, where if you sit and convey peace and hope, literally the person you're talking to cannot resist. It's so contagious that it becomes a part of them, and they mirror it back to you. So it might feel like you're doing absolutely nothing, but you're doing everything. It's like a vaccine against that anxiety.
I love that, Doc. Dr. Leslie Parrott on Zoom with us and on the radio. And between the two of us, Dan and I'm the worrier. He's the one, he's the rock right there, this guy. Hey, we're talking about relationships during COVID-19. You know, Doc, also, we've got this economic issue that we're dealing with, and it's not just now. What about the future? So we can settle things at home now. What do we do for the future? How can we do this long term about settling emotions?
Right. Those are big questions. So many of us, I love the metaphor, what we're all going through, this global event. We're all in the same storm, but we aren't all in the same boat in that storm. And some of us have little boats that are capsizing and have to have leaks plugged. And others of us have, water safe vessels. And a lot of that's outside of our control, other than determining who we are in the context of it. So just the strength comes in just recognizing that what's deep and simple in this time is holding on to the one who's in control. And I think you guys have already pointed to that, no matter what the future is. And I think, it's interesting. Les and I have a new book that's just been released, which sometimes you're in awe over the timing of things. This one's called Healthy Me, Healthy Us. And it's all about this concept. When I'm grounded, when I'm healthy, it's contagious and everyone around me rises with me. So in a crisis like this, the best thing we can do is work on who we are in the context of the crisis. And we can't be in control of world events, but we can have that rock solid sense that we have unswerving and profound significance in God's eyes, and that it's a gift we receive. We don't achieve it by, having a secure, debt-free life or having a job that we know, but we receive that, and out of that strength, then we are able to draw opportunities and open ourselves to whatever, come what may, by God's provision. So it's not magic, but it is an emotional miracle in crisis.
We're talking to Dr. Leslie Parrott. So Leslie, along those lines, as we are forced to stay at home and really kind of be still and spend more time with God than most of us are used to probably, has he shown you anything about Leslie Parrott during this time?
Oh, you don't even want to begin to see my spiritual journal. we wouldn't have time. It would take, but let me tell you, that actually is a gift. Our pastor calls this the global monastery right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And actually, this is an opportunity, no matter what. I mean, let's recognize when I say that, let's be sensitive. People have children and homeschool and crazy work at home. So I'm not saying it's not stressful. But we are unplugged from normal life. So it's kind of the most ideal time. That's why Les and I are in awe about this little Healthy Me, Healthy Us project, because it is an ideal time to have a roadmap to begin to work on deep inside things. And boy, God has shown me that, for one thing, I'm an extrovert off the charts. So I'm not like the introverts who are secretly delighted. I'm missing my peeps. So
I feel you.
Les was laughing at me because I had construction paper out and I was making cards for everyone I knew because I couldn't think of any other way to connect with them. So I have had many inward lessons. Actually, I mean, this might sound shameless, but I would love for anyone to do this. We have a little self-test on healthymehealthyus.com, and it's about your self-talk, the messages and the conversation you're having inside yourself right now, which is a deep clue to the health of your soul. And anyone who wants to take that free can go on there. It's just a 5-minute thing, super insightful.
Awesome.
I'm taking that today.
Yes. Right now. Dr. Leslie Parrott, her husband is Dr. Les Parrott. What a delight you are. What a great guest. We'd love to have you again. And we promise we won't call so early.
When you're on.
Next time. Hey, check out this. I love that. Healthy Me, Healthy Us. You can take the quiz, like she said, the questionnaire to see about your self-talk. And also check out all their books. I'm sure they have some type of video, whether it's the old-fashioned VHS or, well, probably not. But anyway, how can folks follow you guys, Doc?
Well, they can always get information at lesandleslie.com for sure. They can go to Healthy Me, Healthy Us, if I can get my own website correct. And by the way, thank you for underscoring yet again how ancient we are. Good morning to you.
Yeah. Gosh, Dan, I guess that's the last time I get to talk with Dr. Leslie Parrott. It's my fault. Thanks, Doc. We appreciate you much, all that both of you do and have done to strengthen our relationships with each other and also with God. And seriously, we would like to get you back on the show. Hey, let's take a break. We'll be back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.